Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today it is time to pick my December TBR, but before we do that, we need to talk a little bit about my November TBR. As you can see, I still have 3 books over here, so I'm going to talk a little bit about those first, if I'm adding them back onto my TBR shelf, and kind of what the plan is there. I cannot believe it is already coming up to December. We still have about 2 more days left of November while I'm filming this, so we're taking that into consideration when we're talking about these books. So let's start with our 3 books that are still left on my November TBR. The first one I have is Endurance. I am a little over, I'd say, a third, approaching, I'm about halfway through now because it's just over 400 pages and I'm approaching that 200 page mark. I think that I can get this one done in the next 2 days. If not, though, I'm going to actually continue reading this one anyway, so I'm not adding this one back to my TBR shelf. So I'll just set that back there. And then the other 2 books from my November TBR I have not started yet. However, I do think that I can read Station 11 in a day, so I'm not going to be adding this one back in because my plan is to start it today and finish it off tomorrow, so it is done for November. However, John Glenn, a memoir, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get to in the month of November, so I'm going to actually add this one back onto my TBR shelf to choose from. And once I do that, then it will be time to start picking. Since I did my last TBR video, I have added a couple of books to this. So if you haven't seen my latest new book haul, you will not know about these books, but I'm going to speed through them really fast. If you want to hear a little bit more about them, you can check out my new book haul or new to me book haul, because some of these are borrowed. But quick rapid fire, I added Spectacular, which is the holiday novella that goes with Carvel. From my mom, I borrowed The Beautiful Mystery. From my sister, I borrowed Carrie Soto is Back. I actually had pre-ordered the paperback version of The Unmaking of June Farrow, so that came in November. And then 2 books that my sister gave to me that she wants me to just pass on to somebody else is It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker. So our TBR shelf is nice and full again. There is a little bit of space here. I think even if I added the 2 books that I'm not done with, I still wouldn't have anything stacked on top, which is good. My goal is to kind of keep it within this shelf. And yeah, so without further ado, because I've already rambled for long enough, let's go with 6 prompts again. Again, December, last year, December is one of my better reading months. I do have about a week and a half off in December just because of how the winter holidays fall. I do have a book on my Kindle that I really want to get to, but I'm forcing myself to finish the one I already have started before I start. It's actually Variation by Rebecca Yarros. I'm very excited to read that. I already downloaded it on KU, but let's pick 6 books. I'm going to set these ones off to the side here because those are my rollovers from November. So we'll do 6 picks. There's still quite a few prompts left in here, so hopefully I will get some good ones and also be able to check some of these books off of my priority TBR. I have, I think, when I looked last, 5 books that I started the year with on my TBR that are still on here, so maybe get some of those on there. But here's our first pick. Author's name starting with H. I will have to take a look, and I will take either first name or last name for this. Okay, I have 0 books on here where authors either first or last name starts with H, so we're just going to have to set this one off to the side, and we will do pick number 1 take 2. This one is a book about family. Let me take a look and see what I have. I've narrowed it down to 2 options. I can either do A Man Called Ove. This one seems to have themes of family throughout it. The main character, Ove, is solitary, but then a family moves in next door. And it sounds like that's kind of what's shaping the journey. So there's that one. And then my other option is A Zookeeper's Wife. Which is a World War II story based on a real person. And in the little synopsis, it's talking about like how she's needing to take care of her family, but she's also trying to help people escape the Nazis. So I think I'm going to put The Zookeeper's Wife on because this will fulfill... it's on my priority TBR. I started the year with this, and I also will fulfill my Z letter for my alphabet game. So I'm gonna do The Zookeeper's Wife, and then we'll put A Man Called Ove back on the shelf. Okay, pick number 2. Another skinny one. Number in the title. Let's take a look and see which ones have numbers in the title. Here are my 2 options. The first to die at the end, so first I'm counting as a number word. And then It Happened One Summer. One obviously is a number. I think I'm going to go with the first to die at the end. I really wanted to read this book in December. I read They Both Die at the End in December of last year. And for some reason, this book is just telling me to read it in December. So I'm going to put the prequel to the They Both Die in the End, the first to die at the end, on my December TBR. And we will put It Happened One Summer back on the shelf. Okay, pick number 3. I think I have one here. Okay, pick number 3 is a little bit of a chunky one. Buy a book off TBR wish list. Okay, I'm going to actually go from books that I recently bought because they're off my TBR wish list. So that would be The Unmaking of June Farrow or Spectacular. Because these are 2 that I purchased off of my wish list. I pre-ordered this one and then I actually went to the bookstore and bought Spectacular. I think I'm going to put Spectacular onto my December TBR. It's a novella, which I like because it's shorter and it'll help me be a little bit more successful with my TBR, and it is holiday based, so I think it would be fun to read it during the holiday season. So Spectacular is buy a book off my TBR wish list, and then The Unmaking of June Farrow will go back on the shelf. That one was an easy one. Okay, yeah, pick number 4, so 3 more picks. What do we got here? 3-word title. Let's take a look. Okay, so I kind of pulled out the ones that are 3-word titles, and I'm going to go through those. So I have Me to We, which is a book that's on my priority TBR. I started the year with this book. How long is this one? 245 pages. This one would fall into like that self-help category. I've been reading a lot of nonfiction recently, and I just don't know if nonfiction is kind of what I want to put on my TBR, so I think I might veto that one. Then I also have The Blind Assassin. Again, The Hidden Reality is another nonfiction. I think I just need to take a little bit of a break from nonfiction. The Lightning Thief is on my priority TBR. That's a high contender. And then I have The Beautiful Mystery, which is a new one I added. So I think I'm going to put that one away. And then I also have someone else's shoes. I think I'm going to go with The Lightning Thief. Push these back in. This one's on my priority TBR. I really want to check my stuff on my priority TBR off. And because this is a middle grade book, I think it won't take me that long to read. And I really want to get through a lot of books in December. So putting books that are a little bit more of a gimme on my TBR is going to help me out. Plus, it'll be nice to check something that's been on my TBR for a long time off. And that's actually the start of another series, which I need to kind of go through all of the series that I'm currently reading and kind of audit that. So, next pick number 5. We have 2 more picks. Pick number 5 is red cover. So, red on the cover. I think I know which one I want to pick, but let me look and see if there's any surprises in here. Okay, the book that I'm picking is The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. I really want to read this book. I've been thinking about reading this book, so I want to put it on my TBR, so I am going to get to this. So The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery is red cover. And our very last pick for December and for the year 2024 will be, here's our last one. You in the title. Let's take a look and see if I have any you in the title. So I don't have any books with you in the title, so we will do pick 6 again. That was very anticlimactic. Okay, last pick, take 2. Plant on the cover. I'm gonna have to look because I'm not sure which ones I have that have plants on the cover. Okay, all my options, like the plant on the cover is a tree. I have the autobiography of Eleanor Roosevelt. I am kind of wanting to take a little bit break from biographies. I'm going to finish up the one I'm on and just take a little bit of a break from nonfiction. So I think I'm going to narrow out my nonfiction. I just am not feeling it as much right now. I kind of burnt myself out a little bit reading so much nonfiction. I have Star in the Storm, which is like grassy on the cover. I have Flipped, which they're in a tree, which would be a good one because it'd be another middle grade, another one off of my priority TBR, so that's an option. The Beautiful Mystery, again, trees, or I also have The Unmaking of June Farrow. Okay, looking at these books, I really want to pick The Unmaking of June Farrow, but I know if I put this one on my TBR, I will read it and get it off of my TBR. I think I'll put Flipped onto my TBR because I know I want to read this one anyway, and if I have extra time, I will get to it. So let's go through the 6 books on my December TBR. Plant on the cover, Flipped. A red cover, The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. 3-word title, The Lightning Thief. Book off my wish list, Spectacular. What was this one? Number in the title, The First to Die at the End. And my last one is A Book About Family, The Zookeeper's Wife. So I have a pretty short-ish TBR. The First to Die at the End is one of the longest books I have on my TBR shelf right now. But I did put quite a few of like my shorter books on there. I have half of these are ones from my priority TBR, which is good. So I'm hoping December will be a pretty successful reading month. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.